Hi everyone. I just want to go over a couple things on the PowerPoint for this week that I want you to really pay close attention to. Starting with the three branches of the government. It's legislative, that is where the laws are made by our legislative branch. That includes Congress, that's in Washington, D.C., and it includes our state legislature in Sacramento. That's where they make the laws. The executive branch is the President of the United States and the governor of individual states. They are in charge of enforcing the laws and signing the laws into signing the legislation into being a law. And then finally, we have the judicial branch where the judge or juries are the fact finders and they determine the issues and cases brought before them. So there are only three branches of government. It's the legislative, executive, and judicial branch. You'll read about the definition of the law in various pages in chapter 1. But one thing I wanted to point out is it's so important to have laws because police, they can't be everywhere every time. So people have to be aware of what the law is, and most people, the majority of people, have to abide by the law the majority of the time, because otherwise it would just be chaos, because we can never have enough police officers to be present everywhere where people might be violating the law. Going down further, you can read these for yourself, but I'm just going to highlight a couple other things. There are different sources of laws. We have statutes. So in California, the Penal Code provides all of the the statutes relating to crimes. We have the Civil Code that applies to civil statutes dealing with tort, someone being injured, various civil claims that can be brought in court. Regulations come from different government agencies like the Environmental Protection Agency. And then we have court decisions where the judges actually make decisions based on particular facts and the law as it stands. And sometimes judges actually make new law based on their interpretation of statutes that the legislature has put in place, or based on their interpretation of other court decisions. And then finally, the last source of laws is our Constitution, which you have an assignment this week where you get to identify certain terms out of the Constitution. Okay, a couple other things I wanted to highlight is what are the recognized goals and purposes of the criminal justice system. One is to discourage, excuse me, and deter people from committing crimes, to protect society from dangerous or harmful people, to punish people who have committed crimes, and to rehabilitate and reform people who have committed crimes. So these are the recognized goals and purposes of the criminal justice system. Another topic I want you to be cognizant of is the police power, and that comes from the 10th Amendment. It basically indicates the inherent power of every state and local government to enact or to develop criminal laws to promote public health, safety, and welfare. For example, in California, it is a law in California that you have to wear a helmet while you drive a motorcycle. That is what the legislature enacted here in California, and they found that it was for, they said it was for the safety of our motorists. But you can go to Arizona, and Arizona does not have that same statute where they do allow people riding a motorcycle to ride without a helmet. So different states have different laws, but each state has an inherent power to develop statutes or laws that they believe will protect the residents of their state. So that's just an example. The states get to tell us what we can and cannot do. They get to regulate conduct by making it a crime or a civil offense. But there are limitations to that police power. And if you look on in your book, it talks about the limitations of police power. You definitely want to know this. This begins, the discussion begins on page 11 of your book, and it goes all the way through. It's pretty involved. It goes all the way through page 20. Yes, page 20. So 11 through 20. So definitely pay attention to the different the limitations of this police power. One example is that it can't violate our constitutional rights. It can't discriminate and treat some people in one way and other people in another way. It can't, a police power, it cannot limit what you have a right to do under the Constitution. For example, we have a right to travel on roads. We have a right, if we want to get in our car and drive to Las Vegas, the police can't just stop us and ask us where we're going, because we have a freedom to travel. So that's just an example. So definitely go over the different limitations that are discussed on pages 11 through 20 of your book. And I detail them pretty much. I put them in detail here in the PowerPoint, but you want to read them for yourself and have make sure you have an understanding of the limitations. That is just what I wanted to talk to you about this week. If you have any questions, as always, you can email me. It's actually easier just to send me an email through Canvas, and I promise I will respond within 24 hours. But I am here if you have any questions. Please feel free to ask me. I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.